I want to speak to you today on the subject of Caribbean bodybuilding and common sense. And the reason why I choose to speak on this particular topic is that anyone with common sense would realize that it is not wise for bodybuilders in the Caribbean to try to pursue the IFBB, whether is it the IFBB in America or the one in Europe, because actually the IFBB was not designed to support and build bodybuilders in third world country. It has always been a business, and it will always remain a business. Even before I go further into what I'm saying to you, let me give you a good example. For example, there are a lot of bodybuilders like Lihini and others, even Ronnie Coleman to an extent, who would have been winning the Mr. Olympia numerous amount of times, and they were not the most frequent faces or bodies you would have seen on a bodybuilding magazine. And Joe Weider would always say his reason for that is because most people are not gonna buy the magazines because it is a black man that is on the cover. So just read between the lines right there. But most importantly, in order for you to become a very successful bodybuilder in the Caribbean under the IFBB, it would take a lot of money. And it wouldn't make sense that you invest so much money on yourself trying to make money. So the most natural thing for Caribbean bodybuilders to do is to understand that this is high time for us to focus on ourselves here and have our own federation here whereby we can compete on a level playing field. And that is why the biggest muscle, which is this muscle, needs to be exercised. And just as many would have seen Joe Weider as a visionary, so too I see myself as a visionary and one who has a vision to see bodybuilding rise from the ashes. For example, there's a show in America that they call The Rise of the Phoenix, okay, where they now reintroduce women bodybuilding. And when you speak about, Rise of the Phoenix, it's like the phoenix is referred to as a bird that rises from the ash or that resurrects. And that's what we want to do to bodybuilding in the Caribbean. And let me say that I'm not a slouch just speaking. For example, in my country, the last set of bodybuilding shows that ever taken place in my country, I was the one who was promoting those bodybuilding shows all by myself without any sponsor. And I intend to continue it like that because I believe that you should build a solid foundation that is so developed and that is so strong that sponsors will ask of you to be a part of what you are building. So if we work together and we support each other, you support me as I will support you, and as I am willing to invest my money to help you pursue your goal and your dream, because I know what it is as a young man growing up having that obsession of going to the gym and building my body and loving bodybuilding so much. I actually know how you would feel as a youngster, okay? And my encouragement to you is to change your mindset from believing that to be successful in bodybuilding that you have to live in some metropolitan country like America, England, and Canada. Because I actually believe the land of opportunity is right between your two ears. Okay? And if you do not change your mindset, it doesn't matter where you travel or where you go, you would remain the same. And that is why there are very few bodybuilders from the Caribbean who have made it to the IFBB, and many of them who have made it to the IFBB. There are many areas that they can actually point out to you and advise you and tell you it is better if you stay natural and build your body naturally. And if there is an opportunity that comes to you from someone in the Caribbean who's willing to have a Caribbean organization whereby you can compete on a level playing field, they will tell you to make use of that opportunity. And that is where common sense really comes into play. Now, another area that you must use the common sense to understand more about bodybuilding is that the industry, or the fitness or wellness industry, it is more bigger in those metropolitan countries where they have large pharmaceutical industries and supplement companies, and where bodybuilders can get their blood work done because they're consuming so much drugs, and they can check on their health, and it will cost a lot of money for them to do that. And even though they are not using the supplements to build their body to that extent that drugs or steroids would take them, they are the ones who would easily get the contracts to represent these supplement companies. And many people fail to realize it's not the supplement that help them to take their body to the next level. Okay? So you have to understand that. That is why you have Arnold Classic in certain countries, but you'll never see Arnold Classic in the Caribbean and so on. And if they do, the money most likely will be smaller. Okay? And then you would have to abuse your body, to fit their criteria of their synthetic form of bodybuilding. And you grow up in a area on this planet where everything around you reflects what is organic and what is natural. And many people say Caribbean is a natural place to be. Therefore, you should build your body naturally. See, when I now got involved in bodybuilding, I was told that bodybuilding is nation building. Now, we realize that must be restated. And it must be said that natural or organic bodybuilding is nation building. And those people like who in America and those countries, they would like to tell you that there's no such a thing as natural bodybuilding, but that's not true. Okay? Once you're not injecting yourself with any kind of hormones, any kind of insulin, or any kind of performance enhancing drugs, and you just eat, sleep, and train, get good sunlight, and drink pure water, and so on, you're natural. Okay, and there's no better place for you to build a natural body that will last you long and help you to age gracefully than in the Caribbean. Okay, so my encouragement to those of you who are listening to me is that if you're from the Caribbean island, I'm asking you to support this vision of building Caribbean bodybuilding once more, so that we can have shows again like the OECS Championship, and we can have a Caribbean Championship, and everything can be done on a level playing field. I have everything planned already, okay? And this is not like the natural bodybuilding that I would have taken part in before, like the WNBF. In 2009, 2010, and 2011, I took my own money and I traveled to Barbados to compete in a natural federation in America that is known as the WNBF, the INBF, WNBF. So the INBF is the amateur side of it, and the WNBF is the professional side of it. And they were doing lie detector tests and so on, and they would only do urine tests basically maybe for the person who win and so on. And there's still guys who were still, cheating. But I've come to realize that, in the Caribbean, I would rather that you take an oath with your hand on the Bible. Okay, that's how serious I am. Okay, in terms of we doing this thing naturally and you taking your body to its highest potential naturally. Okay, and I can see the vision quite clearly, and all I need is your support. So use your common sense to lead you and guide you, and ask yourself the question, would it be better to chase after the IFBB, whereby you need sponsor to travel internationally, and you're gonna lie to the public concerning your position? Because, for example, I would have seen a bodybuilder from a certain Caribbean island who went to Europe to compete under the IFBB elite, and he came second to last. There were 11 persons in the show, and he came 10th, and they had it in their newspaper say that he made the top 10. And this lying and deceiving has been going on for very, very long in the Caribbean, even in my country, where they would want the sponsors who sponsor the bodybuilders to travel and so on to feel good, to make them believe that they're doing good, when they are actually, most of them, they are natural and they're competing against enhanced bodybuilders. Okay, so you can't go around living a lie and thinking that you're a good bodybuilder because you might do good among your peers, but when you travel to represent, you're getting your ass kicked and you're coming back and putting lie in the newspaper. It is time for us to do this thing together as Caribbean people, and also to raise our consciousness and have the right kind of mindset towards ourselves, and have the right understanding of physical culture and how you must have the right concept of yourself and educate yourself about whatever sport or whatever endeavors that you're going to get yourself involved in. It's very, very important to educate yourself. Okay, if you look, you see the IFBB has been handing over their empire from one hand to the next, and we see Rafael Santor, he split and he has his organization in Europe. What happened to us? Why can't us have our own organization here in the Caribbean? And I'm offering that opportunity, and I'm willing to start with money, not just a trophy, because we're living in a digital age. This is a different age, and even now we're living in a time of a pandemic. There's nothing wrong in digital competition, because we see it been happening. Okay, as a matter of fact, because of lack of competition or anything like that, I remember just some time ago I took part in a, what they call it, the golden age, our golden era. I think some golden era competition with Nick Strength and Power, where you just have to do your flexing and get proper lighting and so on, and you send it to him and so on, and then he's gonna judge you from there. And I didn't even have proper lighting like what I actually basically I would say I have set up here now, and I did my thing on the outside. I didn't even have any formal preparation, but I was still looking okay, and I send it in and so on. So we can definitely do it. And wherever you are in the Caribbean and you're listening to me, I want you to share this video to other bodybuilders in the Caribbean islands, and I want you to let them know that there is hope for bodybuilding, because I know there's some young man and some young woman who been looking probably at social media, and they've been influenced by what they have been seeing and so on, And we really need to help them and to support them and let them know that whatever they put their mind to, that they can achieve it, and that greatness is in each and every one of them. Because, for example, the amount of qualities that bodybuilding have really built in me, and I've used those qualities into other endeavors of my life, I want the same for you. So, my brother and my sisters, I'm just doing this out of the love, and I want to be able to give back. And, you know, one thing I make sure I would have done is make sure I would have, you know, written a book concerning my whole journey in bodybuilding. And I want to let you know, the very first 3 books I would have written were bodybuilding books, right? But those were not the first set of books I would have ever uploaded on the internet, okay? I did my self-help books first, and then I have one bodybuilding book, and I have more bodybuilding books to come, okay? And I want to use, you know, all of the revenues and so on from it to support just bodybuilding, okay? So I want to say to you, I have your back, my brothers and my sisters, wherever you are throughout the Caribbean, and you want to train and you want to compete naturally. You want to be on a level playing field. Okay, let me come to a close here by saying to you that I'll be also doing a podcast where I'll be interviewing any bodybuilder from any part of the Caribbean who would like to do an interview with me, and who would like, you know, to express themselves on this platform. So the invitation is out to everyone, okay? Whoever you are, even if you're old-time bodybuilder, like from the 80s and the 90s and so on, so we can share our experience and so on and build our platform, okay? And let Caribbean Muscle TV stand strong, supporting our young men and our young women to discover the highest version of themselves and to push themselves to the highest potential and do it naturally. So with that being said, I want to say peace. I'm out.